Good afternoon, guys. My name is Brennan Prody, and Mr. Brett Langford and I are the two counselors here at Loyola who meet with freshmen and sophomores. We meet with you in a variety of different settings for different reasons. Our goal is really to help you get the most out of your time here at Loyola, socially, emotionally, and academically, right? So students meet with us for any number of different reasons. In your junior year, you then are assigned to a college counselor, and that counselor follows you for your junior and senior year, basically doing all the things that we would do with you in terms of meeting with you about in freshman and sophomore year, and then adding the college admissions piece as well to that. Okay? College is far enough off. The things we want you to focus on, though, the three things that you can control the most about college are these. Do as well as you can in the classes that you take. Start off strong. Get involved. You heard that from the SGA guys. It is important to get involved. Third thing is develop positive relationships with your teachers. So 3 years from now, you could ask any number of teachers to write you a letter of recommendation because they know you well and they know they could write a good one. Okay? Where we are located in Burke 103. There's a suite of offices just after you pass by the chapel, and then you get past the upper school office. Right on the left, just past there's a little suite of offices where the guidance and college counselors are. Mr. Langford and I are both there. Mrs. Burke is the guidance and college counseling assistant. She is also located in that area. She's the one that will schedule appointments for us to meet individually. Sometimes we meet in small groups, those kinds of things. Important to get to know her well. She's the one that will send out your transcripts in senior year. Okay? So that's a little bit about who we are and what we do. Mr. Langford's going to pick up from here and talk about the schedule.
Good afternoon. Just a couple of things talking about schedules. Please know that this schedule, the way that things are, is an adjustment. And it's an adjustment for everybody, okay? Some of you may be brand new students here, and you're walking around and you're thinking, you know what, I don't understand how this schedule is going to work. It's going to be completely different. It's going to be a complete change for me. Let me tell you that is going to be the case. It's also the case for the students who are here 6th through 8th grade. This is a completely different schedule for them. This is also true for Peter and Will. They've been here for 7 years. It's a brand new schedule for them. Mr. Primewell's been here. When were you hired, Mr. Primewell?
20 years ago.
20 years. 20 years ago, Mr. Primewell was hired. It's brand new for him. So everybody is doing this. It's a different experience for everybody. Okay? We're all going to learn together. It's all going to be a little bit of a bumpy road for everybody, but we will get through it. Some of the terminology has really changed. Last year, if you were a student here, you could walk in and say, today is Gold Week, F Day, and I'm going to 9th period. None of those things are even in the language anymore. There is no Blue and Gold Week. We used to have it where students would rotate, where 1 week their schedule would go forward, the next week it would go back. We are not doing that. Instead, it's what's called a cascading schedule. So you'll have schedules that will just sort of flow, and you'll have classes at different times when you're meeting with them. Okay? When we said F Day, there is no F Day anymore. It's A through D Day. So it's a 4-day schedule or a 4-day rotation. After D Day, you go right back to A Day. So it seems like a lot as I'm talking about it. You only have to learn 4 different rotations. And they'll take a little time, but you'll get there with that. The other thing is there is no 9th period anymore. There are only 8 periods total. There are 8 periods total on the schedule, and out of those, you'll only see 6 on a given day. Okay? The best thing I can tell you to do to get familiar with your schedule, 2 things. One, you'll be here next week, and you're walking your schedule. We've done it in a really good way for you, where you're here for periods 1 through 4 one day, and periods 5 through 8 the next time that you're here. Really get a sense of, this is the order where my classes go. Because you're never going to have it where you go period 3, then period 7, then period 4. It's not going to go like that. There may be going at different times. The period 2 is always after period 1. Period 6 is always after period 5. So pay attention to that. The other thing for you to look at is we want you to go ahead and get online today, Mrs. Sullivan was talking through on campus a little bit, and she had you guys look at the page that had your progress on there, where it had your classes listed, your guidance counselor was listed at the very bottom, right? There's the next tab forward from that is the schedule tab. You should absolutely look at that. How many of you guys have seen your schedules at this point? Okay, just about everybody, right? You've looked at it. But what you probably haven't looked at is the times and when that happens. What you want to do is move forward and look at where it says for September the 8th. Okay? It'll come up as August. Just arrow forward and look at September 8th through September 11th. And what you're going to find is that on September the 8th, you will meet there are 6 different classes. There are 6 different things that are supposed to happen that day. Okay? You may say, wait a minute, I have a class that's period 7 and I have a class that's period 8. Those classes will not meet until the following morning. So periods 1 through 6 are that first day. Somebody may have a free period that day, some guys may not. Please know that there's nothing on that schedule that says the word lunch. We are not trying to starve you. It's just not listed like that. So know that your lunch period is going to be wherever you're seeing a gap in time. Generally, the lunch periods are supposed to be about a half an hour long. So you may see it where a class goes from 9:25 to 10:15, then your next class is 10:55. That break in between, that's when your lunch is going to come up. So just look at that part of your schedule, get a sense of how the rotation goes. You are not going to have a class the same time every time that you meet with it, at all. You'll have it where every A day you meet at the same time, but it's not something where you can say every Monday through Friday, I'm in this class at 9 o'clock. That's not how it's going to work. So just pay attention to it. Your classes are 50 minutes long, and you are meeting with every class 3 out of 4 days. So it's 150 minutes a week. You'll have it where the week that we come on back, the 8th through the 11th, that's A through D day. The following week, you'll come back on the 14th, it's A day again, and you'll go A through D again. The weeks where we have 5-day weeks, while we're doing virtual learning, that 5th day, that's where we're going to be doing some of the community organization, some activities, that sort of stuff. A lot of things that Will and Peter were talking about. So just be mindful of that. Last point I want to make to you guys about your schedule is that if you are taking a semester class, you may look down and say that you're taking gym, or you're taking computer science, you're taking art, you're taking drama. You are taking that class from September to January, and then it stops. And then you have a class that may be on your schedule that you haven't taken at all until January. What we found is the idea is you're going to take a class and you're going to be more, it's 3 out of 4 days, it's a more intense way to sort of approach the class, and hopefully that'll wind up helping things out. It's actually a better schedule for you guys. The freshmen last year, and for these guys when they were freshmen, their schedule had it where every other day, lunch was their only free. That is not the case for you guys. Everybody, even if you're taking 8 credits, you're guaranteed to have it where you have 30 minutes for lunch and a 30-minute free period. I know that's a lot of talking. Any questions you have about schedules? Know that next week, when you're walking your schedule, Mr. Prody and I are going to be around to help you with that. Okay? The last thing that I want to mention about scheduling or about your schedules in general is the certain dates, October 15th. On October 15th, that's what we call our drop add day. Okay? On the drop add day, that is a day where students can wind up moving up to an honors class if they're in college prep and they want to make that move and the teacher says it's okay. If they wish to move from honors down to college prep, they can do that as well. That's 5 weeks after the start of the school year. We want you to take your time to make that decision. We've really looked at your schedule and tried to figure out how to pick a schedule where you're challenging yourself to where you can be successful. So we don't want you to walk down the first day and say, Mom, Dad, English and history were too easy, I need to move up in those. Math and biology were too hard, I need to move down in those. We want you to give it some time, have a few classes in there, do a couple of assessments, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, talk to your parents. You've got time to figure it out. Now, if the first day you think you're supposed to be taking Latin and you walk into Italian 3, don't wait until October 15th. Come and let us know. We'll get you where you're supposed to be. Okay? But just know that you have time to make that decision. And it's really best if you're communicating with us and talking about how to move forward. Any questions about that?
So, as Mr. Langford said, there are a lot of things that are different this year. This is different, and really it should be. There's a lot going on. We're wearing masks, that is different, but we should be wearing masks. Masks help us protect each other and ourselves. We're going virtually because it's the safer thing to do right now, okay? So things are different. It is not uncommon when things are different and when things change for us to get frustrated, angry, anxious about the change, worried, etc. The one thing that we all want you to hear, though, is this. When those things are happening, when we're feeling that way, we can still be okay. And it's going to be okay. It's important, though, to deal with the changes and do the best you can, and that's what we're trying to do. For that reason, Mr. Langford and I and all the other counselors are going to send out a survey to all the students, freshmen through senior year. That survey is really an opportunity for us to get a sense of how each of you did last year and how you're looking forward to this year. You know, it's basically, how did you do? What were the challenges? How did you deal with them? What were the obstacles? Those types of things. We want to hear from you how you did socially, emotionally, and academically. How you're looking forward to this year. What obstacles may be in the way. What are the things that you have planned that'll help yourself? All of those things. It's important for us to have a quick sense from all of you individually what those concerns are. And so, next week, you will get in an on-campus message from Mrs. Burke, a link to a survey that you will copy from that message and paste it into a web browser. Unfortunately, our messages won't add hyperlinks that you can just click on and go. You'll answer that questionnaire for us. It won't take you too long at all. It goes to Mr. Langford and me, your responses. We are the only ones that are going to see your individual responses. But it gives us a good sense of who's doing okay, who may have some troubles with connectivity at home, who had some challenges last year with a workspace, who's looking forward to this year. Right? And it'll give us a chance to get a quick sense of how you guys are doing, because that's important for us to know. And we thought it was the best way we could do that this year. The last thing I want to talk about is about getting involved. And it's just to kind of reiterate what you heard from our seniors. Get involved. It is very easy every year for a freshman to hesitate to get involved. You're new to the school, you're new to the high school. And it's not uncommon to see guys hesitate. We understand that. I'm not the most outgoing guy in the world, and I hesitate. Right? During this time with virtual learning, it's going to become a lot easier to hesitate even more so. And so what we're going to ask you guys to do is don't get in your own way. Resist the temptation to hesitate, to get involved. Find a way to get involved, because we will also tell you this. Every year, every guy says, the best thing I did was when I got involved. Guys that even would get cut from sports would say, it was great that I tried out for that sport because I got to know some guys anyway. Okay? So go out for that team when that starts to be a possibility. Join the club. Get involved. Find ways to push yourself to get involved. Resist the temptation to hesitate. Okay? So, anything else?
The last thing I'll tell you is just please remember to communicate with people. I know you've heard it over and over and over again. It's very important that you let us know what's going on. It's very important that your teachers know what's going on. It's very important that your parents know what's going on. Don't suffer silently. Okay? If you are struggling in a class, if you are struggling to connect to people, if it just feels like it's more challenging than it should be, let people know. Okay? Other people may be going through the exact same thing. I mean, there are plenty of people here who are able to help you. You have great people as your homeroom moderators. We're able to help you. You have Mr. LaBelle as your class dean. Everywhere you look, you got people who want to help you, but we have to know that you need help. Okay? So please, in our case, you can either email us or send us a message through on campus. Either way, we'll get back to you. All right? Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Welcome.